Hello students, welcome back to my channel KRIDHA Educare. I'm back with another new chapter, the tissue. This is going to help standard 9 and standard 10 students. In this chapter, we will deal with all these points. Students, basically the chapter is divided into two main categories, that is your plant tissue and your animal tissue. I will try to complete the chapter in the 7 part, that is the meristematic tissue, permanent tissue, epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and the nervous tissue. In the first 3 part, I will deal with the plant tissue, and the last 4 parts I will deal with the animal tissue. So in the first part, I will complete your meristematic tissue. Then in the second part of the video, I will take your simple permanent tissue. And in the third part of the video, I will take your complex permanent tissue. Then in the fourth part, we will move with the animal tissue. And in the fourth part, I will cover your epithelial animal tissue. In the fifth part, I will complete your connective tissue. In the sixth part, your muscular animal tissue. And in the seventh and the last part, I will take your nervous animal tissue. So in this way, we will complete this chapter. Students, watch the video till the end to understand the concept clearly and concisely. So moving out with the first part, that is our meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue comes under plant tissue. So before moving to our meristematic tissue, I will like you all to recall what is tissue, which I had already taught you in the chapter the cell. When I was teaching you the chapter the cell, at that time we came across the term the tissue. And when I was teaching the chapter cell, I had told you about the hierarchy level of body organization. I had made you clear that time. Firstly the cell, then from the cell tissue, and then from the tissue comes your organ, and from the organ comes the organ system. And this all together makes the organism. We had come across almost each and every aspect of this cell. Now the time has reached for the tissue. Now we will move with the tissue. So when I was teaching you, when I have given you the very brief description about this, that the tissue has came from the cell. How from the cell? The question arises that how the tissue has came from the cell. See, the new cells are formed after the cell division. It is clear to you all. New cells are formed after this new cell is formed after the cell division. After every cell division, new cells are formed. They are normally undifferentiated at that time. They normally become enlarged and get specialized for a particular function. They become enlarged and specialized for particular function. Okay, so from the cell, new cells come due to cell division, and after the cell division, those cells become enlarged and they get specialized for a particular function. So we the organism, we multicellular organism like humans, multicellular organisms like human consist of a group of specialized cell. We consist of a group of specialized cell to perform different function. To perform different function. We humans have a group of specialized cells. We multicellular organisms have a group of specialized cells to perform different functions. So from here you can clear that what the tissue is. The tissue arises from the cell when the cell divides, and these cells now become enlarged and get specialized for a particular function. So the group of cells which become specialized for a particular function is basically known as your tissue. In simple definition, I can write it like this. A tissue is a group of cells similar in structure, having a common origin and performing similar function. So a tissue is a group of cells. The new cells which have came after the cell division, so group of those cells which are similar in structure. A particular tissue performing a particular function will have a similar structure, and they will come from a same origin. Their origin will also be same, and thus they will perform a similar function. That means they are specialized for a particular function. Specialized for particular function. So this is basically your tissue, and when I was teaching the chapter 1, I had also made you clear about one term, that is your histology. Histology is the study of tissue. Study of tissue. Histology is your study of tissue. Okay. Now, the question is that this unspecialized cell, now they are the unspecialized cell, after the cell division become modified and specialized for performing a specific function. How? The question is that this unspecialized cell, after the cell division, become modified and specialized for a particular function. How come this? Think for a while that how come this happens. Unspecialized cell after cell division becomes modified and specialized for particular function. How does this happen? So the answer is due to differentiation. There is a process known as differentiation. Due to this differentiation process, the cell which is once unspecialized, the cell is now unspecialized. It is not specialized. It is not having any specialization to perform any function. The unspecialized cell after the cell division. Now the cell division has taken cell division. You can see here like this. Cell division. This is a cell. It will divide into two. Suppose cell division taken here. These are the new cells. This is the parent cell. Okay, so this new cells, how they have become specialized. When they have formed after the cell division, they are unspecialized in nature, and with the due course of time, they become modified and specialized to perform a particular function. How come this? So the answer is due to differentiation. Now, what does the term differentiation means? So in simple language, you can understand it as the process of becoming different. From the word itself, you can make it understand as process of becoming different. Differentiation is a process of becoming different. How different? Different in the form of structure, in the form of function. Different in the form of structure and function. So that unspecialized cell after cell division become modified and specialized for a particular function due to differentiation, and it means it becomes different in the form of structure and function. It will become different from the rest of the cells to having different structure from them and performing some different function from them. Or we can also say it like this, that it is a normal process by which less specialized cell develops or mature to become distinct or different in function, become distinct in form of structure and function. So differentiation, you can write it like this: normal process by which less specialized cells become less specialized cell develop and become mature to become different or distinct in the form of structure and function. So this is your differentiation, normal process by which the less specialized cells develop and become mature. They will mature to become different and distinct in the form of structure and function. How they will become mature? They will become specialized. Once they become specialized to perform any function, then at that time they lose the ability to divide. Lose the ability to divide. When they were less specialized, they were having the ability to divide. And when they become mature, they have become specialized to perform the particular function, and thus they have lost the ability to divide. So this is about the differentiation. With an example also I can make you clear. See, a zygote is a single cell. When there is a fusion of egg and sperm, fusion of egg and sperm, it leads to the fusion, it leads to the formation of zygote. Okay, so this zygote is a single cell. Single cell. Now this zygote single cell will divide. It will divide rapidly to further develop into It will develop into more complex multisystem and here each system will have some specialized cell for particular function. So when there's a fusion of egg and sperm, zygote is formed. That zygote is a single cell at this stage. This zygote will rapidly divide to form the more complex multisystem. When they will divide, there will be the formation of new cells. Those new cells are less specialized or unspecialized, and from a time being they will become mature to form a particular function. And here the each system, whether it's a respiratory system, circulatory system, nervous system, each system will have some specialized cell to perform the particular function. Okay, and in this way there is a division of labor in the multicellular organism. There is a division of labor in the multicellular organism. Now we will see what is this division of labor. In multicellular organisms, there is different specialized cell. Till now it might be clear to you. Specialized cell to form different functions. And this leads to division of labor. That is, we humans, consider our body, we humans have a different kinds of cells for different kinds of function. For example, nerve cell or a neuron. Then comes your muscle cells or myocyte. Then comes RBC, red blood cell. WBC, white blood cell. And so on. So these different kinds of cells have a different functions. Neuron will form the nervous tissue. Muscle cell will form the muscular tissue. Blood cells will form the circulatory tissues. So these different kinds of cells have a different kinds of function. So this is basically having a function of carry message from brain to body and body to brain. Muscle cells have a function of movement, specialized in making all movements. Now, the red blood cells are capable of carrying oxygen, carrying O2. White blood cells are capable of protecting our body from any infection, capable of protecting body from infection. Okay, so this shows that in a multicellular body or in a multicellular organism, there are different kinds of cells to perform the particular function. Neuron is performing a particular function of carrying the message. Muscle cell is performing a particular function of making all movements. RBC is doing a particular function of carrying oxygen, and so on. So this is the division of labor. Why it is called the division of labor? Suppose a single cell, this single cell has to perform each and every function. Then it would be a tedious task. It would be a difficult task for this single cell to perform all this function. Also, the efficiency can be greatly reduced. The efficiency to do work properly can be greatly reduced because it will have a lot of burden. It will become a difficult thing for this single cell to perform different kind of functions. So this cells has rapidly divided. When it was unspecialized, it forms a new cells during the cell division, and it was unspecialized and it became mature over a time period. And when it matured, the different kinds of cell have started performing different kinds of function. Nerve cell is different in structure, muscle cell is different in structure, so they are coming from the same origin, and when they are forming a tissue, they are coming from the same origin. They will have the same structure. All the nerve cell will have the same structure, and all the nerve cell will perform the same function of carrying message from brain to the body and body to the brain. So this is the division of labor. Now we will move to the tissue. Basically, the tissue is divided into two. That is your plant tissue and your animal tissue. We will see it here. This was a short description about the tissue, how it came to existence. Now we will see about the tissue, and the tissue is divided into two. That is your plant tissue and animal tissue. We are starting here with the plant tissue. I will draw a flow diagram for you to understand how the plant tissue is and in how many parts it is divided. So I will draw a diagram now here for you. See, plant tissue is firstly divided into your two types. That is your meristematic tissue and your permanent tissue. This meristematic tissue is actively dividing. And this permanent tissue has become specialized and it has lost the capacity to divide. Lost capacity to divide. Now, this meristematic tissue is further divided into three. That is your apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and your lateral meristem. Whereas the permanent tissue is divided into your two, that is your simple tissue and complex tissue. Now this complex tissue is further divided into three, that is your parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. And the complex tissue is further divided into two, that is your xylem and phloem. Okay, xylem has 4 components and phloem also has 4 components. So this is the flow diagram of your tissue. The plant tissue is divided into two, meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue is having the capacity to divide, whereas the permanent tissue has lost the capacity to divide. Meristematic tissue is further divided into three: apical meristem, intercalary meristem, and your lateral meristem. Whereas the permanent tissue is divided only into two, that is the simple and the complex tissue. Now, this simple tissue is further divided into parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma, and the complex tissue is further divided into your xylem and the phloem. These are also known as the conducting tissues. They have the four components, and here phloem also has the four components. Today, basically, we will deal with in the first part of this video, we are going to deal with this part. That is your meristematic tissue and its three types: apical, intercalary, and the lateral meristem. Now, moving to the meristematic tissue. So, the meristematic tissue is responsible for growth in plants as they are present in the growing region of plant. Growing region of plant. So what is this growing region of plant? That is the tip of the shoot, tip of the root, and the stem portion. It is present on this three part. That is the tip of root and shoot, and secondly in stems, that is your cambium. So it is present here, so it will actively divide and help the plant to grow. It is present here and it will actively divide and help the plant to increase its width, and it is also present at the tip of the root, and it will help the plant to grow from the downwards also. So it is present in the root, here in the shoot tip, and in the stem. So these are the three places where the meristematic tissue is present. So we can say that the meristematic tissue comes from, that is the meristem. This meristematic tissue has came from the meristem. Now what is this meristem? Meristems are the sites or the region within the plant body, sites or region within plant body where formation of new meristematic cells take place. I had already told you it is present the tip of the root and shoot. Now when it is present here, so it will actively divide because the meristematic tissues has the ability to divide. It has the ability to divide. So it will go on dividing, and it will go on dividing at those regions within the plant body where the formation of new meristematic cells will take place. Here the new meristematic cells will take place, and it will help in the growth of the plant. That is, it will convert the undifferent growth of the plant. How? It will convert undifferentiated cells. Undifferentiated cells means which can now further divide to get a specialized, further divide to a specialized position for performing any particular function. So now they are undifferentiated. They are not divided and not being specialized to perform any particular function. So it will convert these undifferentiated cells for cell division. It will convert the undifferentiated cells capable of cell division into the capable of cell division into the it will convert the undifferentiated cells capable of cell division into the meristematic tissue till it reach a specialized cell. So this is about of your meristematic tissue. Now we will move with the characteristics of the meristematic tissue. Now we will see the characteristics of meristematic tissue. So the first thing is that they are the living cells because they have the capacity to divide. Any cell which is having the capacity to divide is known as your living cells. So they are living cells. Okay. The next thing which is that they are small and thin walled. Small and thin walled. The next thing is that in shape it can be oval, spherical, rectangular, polygonal, etc. Now the cells are compactly arranged. That is, they lack intercellular spaces. Then the next thing is that cells contain prominent nucleus. Cells contain prominent nucleus and dense cytoplasm. Now I can show you with the diagram here. They are the living cells. It is okay. They are small and thin walled. They are small like this and they are having the thin wall. So it is a single cell. In shape, they can be oval, spherical, rectangular, polygonal. So it is somewhat like a rectangular. They are small, having a thin wall. This wall is very thin. It can be have oval, spherical, rectangular or polygonal. They are compactly arranged. It is a single cell. Now it should have a number of cells which are compactly arranged, means tightly arranged. So like this. They are tightly arranged. You cannot see any intercellular spaces. So what is this intercellular spaces? Suppose they are somewhat like this. Suppose they are forming a polygonal shape, and when they are arranged here, They are forming something like this. And this space in between, that white surface between the two cells, this is known as the intercellular space. But these cells are so tightly and compactly arranged that there is no intercellular space. You cannot see any intercellular space in between. There is no intercellular space. They are tightly arranged. There is no any space in between the cells like this. They are compactly arranged and lack the intercellular cell. Now, the cells contain a prominent nucleus. There is a prominent nucleus in each of the cell. With a dense cytoplasm. So it is having a very dense cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, you already know, it is a jelly fluid like substance. So this is basically the structure of your meristematic tissue. It is small cells. Here it is. It is thin walled. Their walls are very thin. In shape, it can be any. So I have taken a rectangular shape. It is compactly arranged, very tightly arranged. Lack of intercellular spaces. There is no intercellular spaces like this in between the cells, and the cells contain a prominent nucleus. Each of the cell is having the nucleus as well as a dense cytoplasm. So this is also here dense cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, the jelly fluid like substance. So this is the structure of your meristematic tissue. Now we will move. Before this, I will also discuss before moving to the types of the meristematic tissue. Let's take a quick look over the function of the meristematic tissue. So the function of the meristematic tissue is your form new cells. It forms new cells and bring increase in length and width of plant. So this is the function. Why it brings the new cells, forms new cells and bring the increase in the length and width of the plant? Because the meristematic tissue has the power of division. In the first line only I cleared you that they had the power of division. That means they are actively dividing. So they are having the power of division, which will further lead to the formation of a permanent tissue. That's the function is it forms a new cell and bring increase in length and width of a plant. So this is all about your meristematic tissue. Now we will move to the last topic of today's lecture, that is your the types of the meristematic tissue. Now we will see the types of the meristematic tissue. Types of meristem. When I was drawing the flow diagram of the plant tissue, at that time I have told you that they are three. That is your apical meristem, then comes your lateral meristem, and then comes your intercalary meristem. So how they are divided in three. The question arises that how they are divided in three: apical, lateral, and intercalary meristem. They are divided based on their locations on the plant. Based on their location in the plant body. Based on their location in the plant body, they are divided into three. With this diagram, I can make you clear. So this is the tip of the plant, suppose. So it is here, what will be present? Your apical meristem. This is the side of the plant, both the side of the plant. So here what will be present? Your lateral meristem. And this is the junction of the two nodes, that is the internode. So here will be present your intercalary meristem. Now, this apical meristem is present on the tip of the plant, so it will bring in the increase of the length of the plant. Apical meristem present on the tip of plant. So what it will bring? Bring increase in the length of plant. Next one is your your lateral meristem. Where this lateral meristem is present? On the side walls. They occur on the side. They occur on side. The lateral meristem is present on the side walls and they bring about the increase in the bring increase in the width or girth. They bring the increase in the width or the girth. This is your lateral meristem. Now the last one is your intercalary meristem. So what is the function of this intercalary meristem? This intercalary meristem occurs at the base of the internodes. This is the internode between the two nodes, occur at the base of two nodes. Okay, so now this intercalary meristem is occur at the base of the two nodes, and what will it do? It will help in the growth at the internode region. So this was all about your types of meristem. So we have completed the first part of the plant tissue, that is your meristematic tissue. Now in the second video I will be taking your simple permanent tissue. Till then, go through this video, and if you find my content helpful in your studies, do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.